Hi everyone, welcome back to Jessipes. I'm Jess. I make recipes that are fun, easy, and healthy. Today I want to share with you the Jessipes journey, which is my journey to where I am today with my health and fitness. I started my channel, Jessipes, because I really want to help other people to find healthy recipes to make. I have had some struggles throughout the years, and I think by hearing other people's stories or watching other people's videos even about kind of the things that they went through, it has just made me feel like more normal, that everybody struggles with things in terms of like how you perceive your own body or your own confidence. And so I'm hoping that by sharing my story and my journey, that maybe there's just a few people out there who will feel a little bit better about where they're at, what they've been through. So this is just my journey. You can take it or leave it, but I really hope that maybe it'll help you. So throughout the years, I have kind of struggled with my weight and my self-confidence. Ever since I was pretty young. I remember as a kid, I would say third or fourth grade, I think I got kind of chubby, and then maybe it was fifth grade, I had a growth spurt, and then just by growing taller, I looked thinner. But I know that middle school was particularly challenging for me. That's when I really started eating a lot of junk food. I would eat tons of cheese balls and pizza and those bagel bites. The food that I ate in middle school in particular was really awful, thinking back. And I was very aware of my self-image, but I really didn't do much in terms of trying to eat healthy or anything. I was a kid. And then high school, I was pretty busy and active. So my normal weight, I remember, was always around probably 140 was my normal weight. And I'm 5'5", and so I was probably around my full height by then. So I think my BMI was relatively healthy. Sometimes I would gain or lose a little bit, but I don't think I ever went really over that. Like 144, I think, was probably my top weight in high school. But I still, I always thought I needed to lose weight. I actually desperately wanted a gym membership, but I remember my mom saying, if you want a gym membership, you have to pay for it. I did have, in middle school, I did have a paper route that I did every day, so I was walking every day. And honestly, that was probably really good for me thinking back. It only took me 20 minutes, half an hour. But that was probably really good for me that I was doing that. And then high school, I was still pretty busy doing stuff. So, and I didn't really I never drank in high school, so that was never a thing. So I didn't eat particularly healthy in high school. I was still eating the little Totino's pizza rolls, but I think high school was pretty decent. Then I went to college and I was so excited. I had such an awesome dining hall. The food was great and so many healthy options. I would eat salad all the time, and it was all super fresh. And I finally had a gym, so I would finally be able to go to the gym a bunch, and I would walk to and from class, so I feel I was getting good exercise there. So in college, I started to feel a lot better about myself in terms of how I looked and felt. And then the summer after college, Mr. Jessipes went home for a month. So I was basically by myself for a month. And that's when I kicked everything into high gear. I started going to the gym, then I would walk to work. At work, I was doing all these extra exercises like crunches and walking lunges down the hallway because I was like working by myself. But I was barely eating. I would go to Bruegger's and get like a bagel sandwich, and I would have like a large iced coffee, a gallon of water, and I would, for like the entire day, like including breakfast and lunch, eat this one bagel sandwich with like cheese, lettuce, and tomato and honey mustard. And I think sometimes I got turkey on it. But that was all I ate. And then I would like walk home after that. So I lost a bunch of weight that summer, and I got to like the smallest and lowest I've ever been. I was 125 pounds and like a size 4, but it was very, very unhealthy. I was working out a bunch, but definitely like overdoing it. Like I would do an hour, say I did like an hour on the treadmill, and then I would do like another half hour on something else. I didn't run back then, so it was like walking on an incline, or I would do like the elliptical and the stair climber. I would also do like the little machines. I didn't really know how to lift weights back then, so I would just do machines. So I was way overdoing it and not eating enough by any means. And then after that, I started my real world, like started my job. And so that year, I was like a size 4 to start, and then gradually my weight started creeping up, and I was like a 6. And at one point I remember I had like my size 6, they were like khaki pants, but like they barely closed on the waist. And I was so overwhelmed because I was working another job and my home situation was not great, so I was not getting good sleep at night. This was just like the apartment I was living in was kind of crazy. So I gained weight really, really fast. I wasn't going to the gym because I couldn't afford a gym membership at the time. And I just literally was not taking care of myself at all. I was buying fast food on the drive home because I would take like this road that went by a bunch of like a McDonald's and a Burger King. Like I remember getting at Burger King, they had this brownie sundae. I don't know if they still have it. Sometimes I think about it because it was so good, but gross, but good. So yeah, I was just literally not taking care of myself at all. Or like on break at work, I worked at a mall, so I would get food from Cheesecake Factory, and so yeah, I ballooned really quickly. So probably like, so I actually have the date on January of 2008. I weighed 161 pounds. So that was, so from fall of 2005 to January 2008, like that was a huge weight gain. And it just was like a runaway train. Like I just felt like there was nothing I could do about it. My life was so busy and stressful, like working 2 jobs. And I never really learned how to cook. Like I was, if I cooked something, it was like mac and cheese on the stove. I wasn't, or I would make chicken on the Foreman grill. That's actually like that summer that I like lost all the weight. That was like all I ever made was like chicken on the Foreman grill. But I just think back and I'm just like, makes me so sad, thinking about how I felt inside during that time. And like, when you feel like you have no control over what's happening, obviously thinking back, like there are things that I could have and should have done, but it just, like I said, it was like a runaway train. So when I hit that, at the time was like my all-time high, like weight, there were all these things that I was trying to do. So like, I finally was able to get a gym membership. Like I was making enough that I could pay to go to a gym. And I like remember making a friend, and like we made this whole like workout plan, like arms and abs, and like I would do these things, but I'll show you my weight chart. It was just like an absolute roller coaster. Then in 2010 I got married, so leading up to that I had that motivating of like, all right, I want to look good in my dress. So I had a really awesome gym that had classes and stuff, but I paid extra for this special training program there. And I really stuck to that. I really enjoyed it. So I was really happy, like I got to a pretty good place. I would say I was like back to that 140-ish around my wedding time, and that's like with putting on some muscle. Like I was doing toning classes a bunch as well, so that really helped, and I felt really great. Like for my wedding and that whole year leading up to it, I was feeling awesome. And then on the way home on the plane, the way that I was sitting, my knee started to feel really weird, and I was like basically convinced that I had like messed up my knee somehow. So I kind of like all that work that I had done getting ready for the wedding kind of went out the window. I was like, oh, I need to rest. So once I no longer had that like motivating factor, I just like gave up my good habits. And by October of that year, I was up to 164. So I gained 20 pounds basically from June, which was the wedding, to October. And once again, it was just like that up and down roller coaster. And then I felt like, now what? I still hadn't come up with like, what can I do that's like actually gonna work. I hadn't developed any sort of habits other than like, it had always been like there's this reason that I need to get skinny or be a certain size, but it was not this feeling of like I actually want to be healthy inside. So there have been many ups and downs since then. So I would say, and we're already 12 minutes in, I would say it wasn't until finally I found CrossFit. There was a really cool program where they did a 6-week program with a group of women. Everyone was brand new to CrossFit, had never done it before. And they were really good about teaching us all the movements. And I had never really done strength training before that. I had used machines at the gym, and I had discovered I really love, and I still love her now, Nikki Blacketer on YouTube. And she would like lift weights like squats and stuff. So I had just started kind of dabbling in squats and things like that. But I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know form. And actually, like once I started doing CrossFit, I was like, oh, I was doing some of that really wrong. So I was very glad. And that was amazing because it was like they gave you one-on-one support in terms of they would teach the movement and then you would practice it, and they would come around and like check on you and make sure you were doing it right. So it was very safe. I never felt like I was in any jeopardy of getting injured. And that's when I really kind of like found my inner athlete. It just like lit this spark in me about like being strong. Like I had never cared about being strong. I had never like that was just not something that I thought that I needed necessarily. But the more that I gained this confidence, I was like, wow, like this is really cool. Like it felt really cool to like throw the weights around, not, you know what I mean, not throw them around in a dangerous way. But doing like, you know, those different Olympic lifts was so cool to me. So I did the CrossFit for a couple of years, and that I would say would probably be like that pivotal moment for me that like transformed everything. We also there was like a nutrition challenge that we did that I participated in. So that was really cool, just like thinking about kind of like my nutrition again, putting more of a focus on that. And then another gym came into my life, Burn Bootcamp. They did a 1-month trial for free when they first opened, and I was still doing the CrossFit, but I just was like finding my excitement was waning a little bit. Like I loved the people, I loved the community, I still love them today, and I am so grateful to them for everything that they taught me, gave me. Like I wouldn't be here where I am now if it was not for that experience and for the people at the CrossFit gym. I'm so grateful to them. But I did find Burn Bootcamp and gave that a try, and it like reignited that fire again. Like it was like, wow, this feels amazing. The difference there is it's a 45-minute workout, and we just use dumbbells instead of like the big barbells. But like there were a lot of similarities that I saw. I think it fit my schedule just a tiny bit better with the 45 minutes because it was really efficient and I could go before work. So it started out that I was going before work and getting ready at work every day, like actually showering at work every day. And I was like, oh, well, this is just for a month, so you could do anything for a month. And by the end of the month, I wasn't sure if I was going to join because I still had the CrossFit membership, and I really liked that and I liked them, and I didn't want to leave doing that. But, you know, I got to talking to the head trainer, and she was like, Jess, like, you're here every day. Like, and I just remember this is why I'm doing this video. I just remember thinking, Jess, you have the golden ticket in your hand. And I told people this when I was like trying to justify, because it's a lot of money. Like, these memberships are not cheap, and I know not everybody can do this. Sorry, I'm crying, but this is like literally why I'm doing this video. Because I want to hopefully show people, like, this is where I've come from. Okay, so I was like, you have the golden ticket in your hand. If you join Burn Bootcamp, like, you are gonna actually sorry. Pause. Oh my gosh, sorry. I was not expecting that. That came out of nowhere. So it was like, Jess, you have the golden ticket in your hand. You have everything you need right now to reach your goals. For so long, I had been up and down and just like felt like so crappy about myself felt like I was never good enough, felt like I was never skinny enough. And finally I had like I said, the golden ticket. And if I didn't join Burn Bootcamp, it was like I was crumpling it up and throwing it away. Burn had everything I needed. Like their program is so great because it's like a 6-day protocol. So some days you do cardio, some days are strength. And then there's different, like it might be a full body strength, upper body, lower body, whatever, core days. So I needed that. I needed that structure because what I was doing clearly wasn't working. The CrossFit, yes, that was working really well, but I wasn't enjoying it enough to like really go consistently. Like I was picking and choosing which days I was going on. My favorite part actually of the CrossFit workout was the WOD, the workout of the day. And that's actually similar to what the Burn Bootcamp was like all the time. I just like really love that kind of a workout style. So finally I was like, all right, like let's do this. It had the workout aspect. It had the community again, where we would high five after exercises, like in between rounds. And that just felt really good. It felt really empowering to praise each other and be like, good job. And that again was similar in CrossFit. Like I loved that aspect. And that's sort of what kind of kept me going, and same now at Burn. So I would say that transition from the CrossFit to the Burn also was like another pivotal moment, that the CrossFit was really good, but I was starting to reach like sort of an end point with that where I wasn't as into it. So now I had something new that I could jump into and really get excited about. And another really awesome thing at Burn is the focus meetings. You can set up a meeting every 3 weeks or whenever, however often. So 3 weeks or a month or whatever. And they do measurements, but they also talk about goals. And it doesn't have to be like a scale goal. It can be an exercise goal that you have for yourself. So I found that really awesome because I could sort of track where I was at. So I've been trying to be really consistent with my focus meetings and just kind of keep an eye on things. And it's really nice to have that one-on-one time with the trainer to talk about how you're feeling about things, and ask questions, or they can help you if there's a movement you need help with. Like one of mine, it sounds weird, but I actually went over push-ups because I had sort of like gotten in my head about like, wait, where are my hands supposed to be? And I know that sounds like kind of obvious, but I just kind of wanted her to see my push-up form and kind of help me with that. So yeah, I've found that the focus meetings have been really helpful. And then really the last thing that I've implemented is the recipes. So really focusing on making meals for myself has been really awesome. I've really been enjoying the process of finding recipes to try and making them and sharing them. And I think that's like another thing that's kind of pushing me to my next step. Or even if I stay, like it's not about like losing weight for me at this point. Now I just want to stay at the same place. Like I've actually been the same size for probably like 2 calendar years now, which is absolutely incredible. I've gone up or down like a lot. So I've been the same size for about 2 calendar years, which is amazing. I have maybe like gone up and down a little bit. Sometimes your pants are looser or tighter, but like literally from that roller coaster, I have bins of clothes. I'm finally like clearing stuff out, but like I have everything from 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, like every size. And I've been afraid to get rid of it because I'm like, oh, well, am I going to blow up again? Because literally, like if you look at my chart of my weight, like it was up, it was down, it was up. And I just like felt like I had to keep all this stuff just in case. But now like it's so liberating to just go in my closet and I know that my clothes are gonna fit and look good on me. And like, it's really fun. I have sort of like these few go-to things that I wear all the time just because it's so easy. I feel like Kate Middleton just having, my re-wearing my things. So I don't know. I just feel like I am finally like in a really good place, and it has taken me, it's taken me like 20 years probably to get here. Maybe more than that, maybe 30 years to get here. If I think back, like I started looking at teen magazines back, I would say like 5th, 6th grade is when I first started looking at like all those magazines, maybe even before that, but that would be like the big time. And there would be like diet tips and showing celebrities' bodies, and I just can't believe that I lived that way for that long, like with these insecurities. And I'm just so glad to be where I am now. And I'm not 100% there. Like if you saw, obviously, like it's still emotional, like it's still like that kind of pain and insecurity still comes up, but where I am today, like I feel so strong, and I feel so happy and thankful for the habits that I finally created for myself, and putting my health as a priority just feels so good. So I hope that sharing my story has helped you. If you made it this long, like, wow. If you actually are watching still, like, thank you. You are my people. So, yeah, I really hope if there's anything I can help you with at all, please leave it in the comments. Like, I just want to share as much as I can and it be as honest as I can, and hopefully like help other people, because it's tough. Like it's hard to be healthy, and there are struggles, and so I don't know. I am here for you. If there's anything you need, just send me a message or put it in the comments below. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe so I can keep sharing my message with other people. And I'll see you in the next recipe soon. Bye.